Hey everybody from the heart of Lovecraft Country and the birthplace of American religious liberty. My name is Shanthan Jetty. You're watching Shanthan Jetty Art, and welcome to another Sunday of Comics and Curios Inside the Studio, episode 10. God knows where it's going to take us today, and you know how it goes. We come in here, we hang out, we talk, comics, books, art, everything. I tell you guys what I'm working on, and then we see where we go from there, and I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday. Let me see who's here. Let me see who we've got here in the house. Here we've got Shadowhawk Talk saying, hail, leg kick one with a leg there. Well done. Well put. Happy Sunday from channel member and OG Cranberry Landers. It is great to see you here. And Strayer82, it is good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Enjoying those custom emojis I see. Good to see. Let me see here. Of course, we got leg kick one in the house. We have got, let me see, Sergeant Politeness. What's up? Hi, Comics Gate. Indeed. Hail, Comics Gate. It's great to see you here, man. We've got Cursed Heart Creations in the house. That's right. I think you were first and foremost or second. I'm not sure which one it was or was infamous, Mr. Cursed. It's great to see you guys here. What's up, Bar Stewart? How are you doing? And let me see. Do we got anybody else in here I need to make sure I say hello to? I hope you guys are doing well on this fine Sunday. Let me know if I missed anybody. If somebody falls down, please pick them up. That's what we do around here. And yeah, hanging out in the studio. We have a decently warm day. Some of the snow is starting to melt. I have got a lot of crazy stuff going on, so I want to share that stuff with you. I've been working on and polishing up and refining my cover for Black Riding Hood 2. If you don't know about Black Riding Hood 2, it's on Fund My Comic, and I knew I forgot to do something. I forgot to drop or put the link in the description for this video for Black Riding Hood 2. So if you don't know already, exciting news. The cover art that I'm doing right now for Black Riding Hood 2 is going to be a special cover that's only available at the highest, I think in the box tier. The highest tier on Black Riding Hood 2, which is great. There's a bunch of cool covers that you can pick up. You can pick up a cover by Cecil, of course. And Cecil and Anna, I think they're jamming on that one. And then there's a cover by Ethan. There's a cover by Shane Davis. And I will be adding my cover to that. So if you get the box, you're going to get everything. But that's going to be the place where you can get that cover. What is up, Sir Listero? Sir Lister. Oh, it's the of. I don't know why I have trouble with that. Hail, sir. My reading is appalling, and I apologize. Drummer on fire. Sup, Shanth? How are you doing, my friend? It's good to see all of you guys here. I swear, my gosh, my reading is getting worse and worse and worse with time. So in addition to that, in addition to working on that, and it's coming along great, I've been kind of adding different layers and sort of painting it. There's my man, Mark's Music Obsession. How are you doing? Hail, Shanth, and chat. Out walking back in a few. Awesome. He's in my top 12 channel members now. He's got here in terms of, he's number 12 in terms of seniority. We've got some people who are up there in that top 12. You know who you are, Cranberry Langers. Let me see here. Super Mastermind 1732. My God. These names, it's a miracle what YouTube's doing. Comics are 99% marketing, 1% comic. Consider digital after a few years. Easy to send people to an address to download with mirror. Large poster or stand up at con. I got you. My God. I tell you what, is this type getting smaller or more likely is my vision starting to go? Let's see here. Altered Beast is here. God, I remember that game. Holy cow. Let's see. Hey, Shanth and chat. I love seeing this stuff, guys. You guys are great. So here's the thing I've been working on. I've been working on a couple of different things. So I've been working on the first episode of Bare Knuckle Art School. So I've been working on that, and I've also been working on some cool stuff that's going to go alongside that, which you might have noticed in the thumbnail, which I'm really excited about. We've got Lord Hinson, Comic Skater. Yo, what's up, Shanthan Chat? What's up with you, Lord Hinson? It's great to see you guys here. All these guys are becoming OG. You feel like I just met them a little while ago, and then you guys send your member milestone chats, and it's like 15 months or 36 months in some cases, and it just blows my mind every time. But it's, yeah, I mean, for me, this is the thing for when I'm working on this stuff. So I don't know if you guys remember. You probably do. Do you guys remember the, what was it called? The art school things where they had the Draw Me Turtle, the pirate, and then the little mouse cartoon character, and it says, draw your favorite and send this in and get a free, review or whatever. So I've been obsessed with those things since I was growing up and seeing those on television and them advertising for them and hearing about them and what they were. I know Shane even did one, funny enough. I remember seeing those things, and I thought it would be really fun if I did a version of my own thing, which I've been thinking about for a while, for Bare Knuckle Art School. And so I've been working on that. You guys might have seen that in the thumbnail, sort of digitally sketching them out. Came up with Snappy Turtle, which I need. And so I'll show you guys a little bit of a look into the madness that is the stuff that I get up to when nobody's looking. So I've been messing around with this and trying to figure out what I want to do and how it's going to look and figuring out these characters and doing some sketches so that I can have my own draw one of your favorite sort of things as something fun to do, but also as a way for people to practice different skill sets and things like that. So I've been working on that. I've been working on Mark's Creature from the Black Lagoon sketch, which I'm sure you guys remember from a previous stream. And oh my gosh, speaking of horrifying reminders and OG, here it is. Cranberry Langers celebrates 38 months of membership. Rest in peace, friend and familiar face, Felix Haas. What? What is going on? My God, yeah, that turtle does dress snappy. And Hail Mikey gets, yeah, let me know, Cranberry Langers. Did we lose Felix Haas? My goodness gracious. Man, I tell you what. Well, here are some, yes, rest well and easy, Felix Haas. Indeed, it seems we have. And yes, rest well. This is for you, Cranberry Langers, but give me some more info as well. Nope, I didn't need that. I don't know why that was clicking on. Yeah, just 2 or so days ago. Oh my gosh, guys. Whoa, that is wild. I had no idea. I did not know. But let us say this. Raise a glass, everybody, and we toast Felix Haas. My goodness. Hail chat and say a prayer during for Felix Haas and his family. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Yeah. That is something else. Comic Books and Cahoots just became a member. Excellent. It's glad to have you as a member. And thank you so much. I got to celebrate you guys. We're dedicating this show to Felix Haas. That's how we're doing this. 2 days ago. My God. All right, guys. Here you go. You know, it's amazing how we all get to see each other and we hang out with each other and we do these kinds of shows. And it's things like that. And, you know, we've talked about that a lot on these streams. But things like that really sort of hits home and makes us sort of realize that, you know, it's not just the virtual world we're existing in when we're here. And, you know, our hangout times and the times we have together to do these things and to make beautiful things together and spend this amazing time that we're blessed to have together. You know, we got to enjoy them while they're here. And I am so glad to have gotten to spend time with Felix Haas and chats and all of the different things that we do around here. So, yes, indeed. Cheers to him and his family. And we are going to miss you, buddy. That's what I'll say. And that's wild. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how these things go. And so yeah, I've been working on this indeed. Yeah, hail Mark's Music Obsession. Everybody is saying cheers, Felix, indeed, and we raise a glass to you. And thank you, Comic Books and Cahoots, for becoming a channel member. So I've been working on what we're gonna do for I've already come up with what the title of the first episode of Bare Knuckle Art School is going to be, and working on that thumbnail. And then I'm breaking the episode down into different sections, into sections of how to break down like what the intro things are. And so one of the things about that whole thing is it kind of has called on me to remember some of the teaching stuff that I've been doing and all of that. And so, and how I used to write curriculum and all those different things. And I will tell you this, if you are a channel member, I'm going to be reviewing artwork on the show. I'm going to be giving people pointers. I can't even get my words out. I'm going to be giving people pointers on how they can improve various things and how we can improve their work. But I want to give particular preference. Let's see if I can get any of these out. Going to be 29 months membership-wise for me over 2 years. I remember that, too, by the way. I remember when you hit 2 years. So, one of the things that I'm going to be doing, and one of the things I want to make sure I'm working on, is I'm going to break those things down. But those of you guys who are channel members and artists, I know we've got a few of you guys in here. If you guys want me to be talking about your work first, you just let me know. And, just leave a comment in the members chat. I know who the people are who've been here for a long time. I know Timmy Mello is an artist. I know Stephen Rockwood is. You guys just let me know, and then we can go from there and figure it out. But the first episode of it is just going to be laying down some of the basics and the things that we need to do in terms of what I need in order to be able to look at work, that kind of thing. And so that's one of the things we're going to be doing. So when I was working on what I wanted to do for these sketches and what I wanted to do for how I put, these characters together, I just was kind of playing around with thinking about the different form language that you can have and how to put this stuff, into a much more, just realized you guys can't see that. Let me adjust my camera there. There we go. How to put this stuff together and how to kind of create things that are going to be challenging to draw. Things like the bowler cap, were a fun one because then it's almost like a sphere kind of thing. And it gives you a sense of that. And then I was working on a mouse character, but it's kind of, more Don Bluth, Secret of Nim kind of thing and all of that. And then I'm also working on the pirate, which is going to be the easiest one because we all, I can have a lot of fun with that. I don't really have to come up with a basic look for it. But everything else has a kind of, has its own kind of style to it meant to bring things out. So I started thinking about, when I was looking at doing sort of more of a mouse character, the thing I'm thinking about with the forms is getting this the sort of lines to it. Okay, Timmy Mello says, I'll definitely have a few recent works to share. Awesome. Sounds good. And pass it along if we don't see Stephen Rockwood in here. Pass it along to him in case he wants me to look at some stuff. And there we go. So yeah, I want to try and make sure I bring in some of those things that are going to make for an interesting drawing experience. And that's kind of where I'm at with this stuff right now. And I was playing around with, like, kind of doing a Western Once Upon a Time in the West with this, but just kind of giving some classic things, a little Charles Dana Gibson hair right there. So those are the things that I've been working on as I've been sketching and playing around with this stuff. Everyone, I'm bummed out now. Don't be bummed out. We're going to celebrate life today. I know it's tough, man. It's very, very tough. This reminds me of the TV ad about becoming an artist. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I want to do. And so, yeah, so as I've been working on this stuff and putting things together of, like, what are the different things, I'm working on a bunch of stuff. So I'm working on the Black Riding Hood cover. I'm working on, did you ever have that old Marvel tryout book? It would be a cool book to review. I never had it, but I've seen it everywhere, and it was awesome looking. I guess I always wanted it. I have the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, but I don't have that one. You're right, that would be cool to review Comics in Cahoots. Yeah, and I think what I want to do is I want to focus things down on just the craft, the skill, and the discipline of making art. I know we talked about the perspective last week, and I did a little perspective lesson, but I've been thinking about what kind of books I want to show and what kinds of things I want it to be. So I wanted to share with you guys today a couple of books that I think will be very worth your while to be aware of. So everybody knows Andrew Loomis's stuff. Everybody knows, well, actually, I shouldn't speak in generalities. So there's Andrew Loomis's How to Draw a Book, which a lot of people know about. His hands, his how to draw heads, how to draw the figure, how creative illustration. They're great books. Really good books. Then there was, of course, the Bern Hogarth books, and then there was the Bridgman book. And all those books are great. But there's something I found as far as being a comic book artist after going through all of those books, is that sometimes there's another how to draw book out there that you haven't heard of by an artist who is really outstanding, and they have just something you connect with. So I always like to introduce people to this book right here. This book is, and we'll see if we can get away with this cover here, Drawing Lessons with Willie Pogany. And so Drawing Lessons with Willie Pogany is just a fantastic book. It's a beautiful book, and it deals with, funny enough, a lot of the stuff we were talking about last week with regards to perspective. Just a outstanding book talking about, shocker, almost as if, so the first time Brian Stelfreeze explained to me what perspective was, and he started talking about eye height, it was the first time I ever heard it. It was the first time I ever heard it because Brian learned it in an art studio more so than he did at art school. And I had never, and they had gone and gotten rid of all of these kinds of books. I can't read that. Corey Landis without dying. Stop, Corey Landis. It's great to have you with us, man. So, this stuff is all covered in these old books. Eye level, eye height, it's all here. And this book I had to rip the plastic binding out of. I'm going to have to get a new one. But I wanted to get the original edition because on this paper, I already toned it down. Sure you did, Corey Landis. You cracked me up, brother. So I saw this book and I was like, this is really great. But more importantly, there was this kind of classic illustration style for how like men and women were drawn and how people of the day were drawn that just has this beautiful sort of classic quality to it. And then it talks about perspective, and it talks about 2-point perspective. It covers all of that kind of stuff, gets into 3-point perspective. Really nice, really easy stuff to follow because that's how it was when you were trying to get people to learn this stuff. And you were trying to actually, encourage people to learn how to do things. It deals with things like ellipses and how to understand ellipses in terms of when you're drawing. Let me zoom this. Let me lift this way up and see if I can get that to be a little better. That's a little better. Can I move? Which way do I have to move this? Oh, sorry for the speaker contact there. Yeesh. Yeah, sorry for the speaker contact there. I'm sure that was a little bit grating on the nerves. So yeah, so you've got the ellipses, you've got all of this stuff in here that makes this stuff great, and then you get into putting the figure in perspective and what's going to happen with the figure. Does all this look familiar? The first time I saw this in a book and with this specific kind of description of things for eye level was when I got this book, and it was after I learned perspective. Yeah, they are the next great challenge. 100%, Timmy. The ellipses, yeah. So then we start getting into practical perspective and how you make backgrounds that actually look interesting, which is completely different than linear perspective. It's completely different from linear perspective. This gets into where the art comes into things and the drafting comes into things. I used to hate drawing backgrounds with passion of 1,000 burning suns. I could not stand drawing backgrounds. And I think it's because my backgrounds were interesting, and I wasn't interested in them, and why would anyone else be interested in them? And when I started to fall in love with and decide what kind of architecture I wanted to illustrate, what kind of backgrounds I wanted to do, that's when things started getting interesting and exciting. And look at little things like this, like the arm in perspective and the shapes that it makes when you're looking at it straight on. All of this stuff is gold. This is the important stuff. Understanding things like highlights, right? And how they affect things, edge lights, soft and hard edges lights, the light surface, the shade, the shadow, the reflection, and the cast shadow. All of that stuff. I always think of women's figure of being simplified down to an S curve. Oh, right, it's right here, and an A curve there. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Well, and that's the thing. They get, that's a really tricky thing to start getting comfortable with, because one of the things I started noticing, isn't this great, Cranberry? It's fantastic stuff. It's, how do I put this? Things like the classic the classic face type and head type of the figure that I wanted to learn how to do. This kind of heroic sort of figure, that's what I wanted to learn, and how you build these things. We've all sort of seen different sketches. But this book, you can actually get a more modern version of it. I have it kicking around here somewhere, I'm sure. And it's not like the same off-white paper, nor is that necessary. But it's worth a look if you're looking for a book that has this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a really good resource, Cranberry Langers. So yeah, you get to see even just little things like giving a basic understanding of the skull and the muscles and how those things work. That's what this book gets into, and that's the kind of stuff that is a little bit different from when you're looking at someone's work and looking at the big issues of how you can help them fix it. But that's something I really love to do. And that's something that is going to make that really fun. But for any of you guys who are interested in art and are interested in learning stuff, I cannot recommend enough this book. Look at how great that is. The faces and the facial structure. It's just wonderful, man. And here's more stuff, different angles. But then we also have, what I love about Willie Pogany's stuff is that he's a cartoonist when he draws. And if you like cartooning, and I love comics and I love cartooning, sometimes people get so into the anatomy and the structure of things that they're lifeless. And cartooning, to me, is the supreme quality of putting life into things. And it's so important. What's up, Tank Ferret? How are you doing? Good afternoon to you all, magnificent bastards and bastards. Indeed, it's great to see you, Tank Ferret. How are you? Excuse me, how are you doing, my friend? I'm like, Sean falls over. How are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you. This feels eerily familiar for me. I'm going to have to ponder this one. So yeah, portraiture. And he starts talking about portraiture, which is, of course, portraiture is a nightmare for anybody who's ever done it. It is exhausting. But yes, understanding how to draw classic faces. Isn't that crazy? This is very much like Loomis's book. So this book, I believe, predates Andrew Loomis's book, if I'm not mistaken. So likely, this was one of the drawing books that led to Andrew Loomis doing his book, which is really interesting to just keep going back. And then, of course, there's way back, the Charles Barg book, which touches on all this stuff. But the angles of the eyes, how many people have struggled with that, looking at eyes from different angles and drawing eyes from different angles? That book looks kind of old. Where would you want to buy it? It's been reprinted. Let me see if I can find it. So the book is called, I think it's Drawing the Figure with Andrew Loomis. So it's, or not Andrew Loomis, my God. Woo! Willie Pogany. Willie, W-I-L-L-Y, Pogany, P-O-G-A-N-Y, I think. Let me just double check that. Willie, yeah. And this book is available to buy. It's still on Amazon, but it's not the old version of it. And I was hoping I had it here somewhere. Dang it. Where the heck did I put the thing? I did have it just recently, but somehow it's gone in R-U-N-N-O-F-T. So we'll have to find it. But yeah, the different angles on the eyes, 100%. You know? Shanth, I'm well. How are you? It's been a long time since I've caught you live. Hey, listen, it's great to have you here, man. It's great to have you here. And yes, we'll see. Everybody's happy to see Tank Ferret Presents. So yeah, so this book, you can still get it on Amazon. I'm looking to see if I have it kicking around somewhere in here because I was just looking at it the other day. It seems like impossible that I would not have it like right nearby because it's really weird. Here, let me see. I've got so much stuff piled up here. So many books. So many notes. Where the heck is it? I could have sworn I had it here. This is going to drive me crazy, man. So yes, there is a more modern version of this book. What is up, Ghost Goo? How are you doing? Hail to you. Sir Lister says, hail. Let me see here. Sometimes the cover sells the whole book. Yeah, you're absolutely right. In that case, it's absolutely true. But it is available. If somebody finds the link to Willie Pogany's book, put it in the chat so people can grab it. It's a great book, and it's a great reference. If it turned out to be on my desk, I was about to laugh at myself for a bit, but it did not, unfortunately and fortunately. So yeah, so there we go. I was just talking to my youngest about how the eye is a sphere and an oddly angled, bold plane. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, these names are crazy. TC Mech 79, what is up? How are you doing? And why are the names all changed? It's a fascinating thing. The physicality of the iris in the eye and the corner, cornea is what I struggled with. Yes, and the fact that you're seeing the bottom part of the curve of the eye also trips people up. They think you're seeing the most extreme, outward face of the eye, but that's actually usually where the top of the eyelid is just above that, and then it curves back. So yeah, that's definitely one of the things. Mouths, also very tricky, getting the angles into them. So this book covers a lot of really, really great stuff. I want to see what else we have. Here we go. Hands, right? Hands. These are something you really have to get comfortable with. Let's write. Good. How about you, Jamie? I'm doing well, my friend. Hale, Tank, JD, TC, Cranberry, Corey, and Tim. Look at that. Everybody's getting their hellos today on Sunday. And yes, Comics and Curios inside the studio, guys, and welcome. So yeah, so this is the stuff that makes these books worth it in terms of our ability to learn, our ability to pick this stuff up. And I think it can't overstate how much getting a better angle on this stuff and a better handle on this stuff is so important for making your work good. I'm trying to see what stuff. I mean, I don't think there's anything in here that should be a problem, but YouTube. So just want to make sure I'm paying attention to it. Muscles. Let's see if I can get some more of the figure drawing stuff. Here we go. Here's some good stuff right here. So yeah, talking about arms, expanded and contracted, all of that stuff is really good. And then of course the leaning the figure and understanding how the proportions go. And then this is the stuff, I think I can get away with this. This is the stuff, balance and motion, which is important. And this is where we get so much of the stuff that we love in comics and we love in fantasy illustration. All of this stuff. Is that the link right there, Cranberry Landers? Well done. I think it is, guys. Yeah, if you guys are interested in this book, absolutely make sure you grab yourself a copy of it because it's not expensive. But here you go. Also, the difference in motion and the difference in figure between men and women, very important to understand. And this book deals with it, and it deals with it in a way that makes you have an appreciation for the tilt of the pelvis and the way that the weight is distributed on women, and also that sense of grace that you need. And that's the stuff that, when I'm drawing and when I'm painting and when I'm working on my comics, that's the biggest thing I'm always thinking about. You might not see this stuff, or it might not be as obvious. Maybe it is when you guys are looking at the stuff as a whole, but you will see. Let me see if I can find an example that I can show, which is always the problem with this stuff here. Let me see. That stuff, not as much. Let's see here. Oh, maybe this will do. I think this will be okay. So it's small, unfortunately, which is the problem. But when you see this from Art Book 2, when you see these figures, and I know it's like a little warped because I'm holding it at an angle, something like this right there and getting that stance in there is a series of angles. There aren't a lot of curves in there, and that's the big thing I'm focusing on. I'm always trying to figure that stuff out more than anything, is like, how can I give this? And that was back when I was going to have Nosfera with 2 1911s, and it was going to take place in a little bit more modern times. There's the man, Eric Weathers. How you doing, brother? Long time no see. How you been? Oh, it is. There's the link to Willie Pogany's book, if you guys are curious what we're looking at here. Oh, my gosh, man. Craziness. I was actually just talking about you the other day with one of my brothers, because I was talking about working on Nosfero, and I was talking about the process of doing all this work and just how involved it all is. It was actually someone who works in television. Everybody is saying hello. Yes, it is all about the angles, 100%. Biggest rule of thumb I could give anybody when it comes to art is, when in doubt, angle it out. That's what you have to do. What's up, Citizen Ronan? How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you, brother. So here we go. I don't care. We'll go where we go. These are drawings, but you guys get the understanding of it. Figure, lighting, shadow, tilt. This is so important. Now, let's be clear. You do need to get to here at some point. Like, don't think it's just about the angles. Like, that's a big thing I ran into with people in art school. They're like, keep it loose. And I'm like, yeah, then you never have to commit to a mistake. And that's the problem. But this is a really good example right here. Really great example of understanding the figure. This is why you should learn to draw erotic comics to the full range of motion of the human body. It's funny that you say that, right? When I was thinking about that today, because whether it's Milo Manera or any of those guys, Serpieri, or the folks who do that kind of work, if you do bad anatomy, you're going to find out in a hurry. That's for sure. I think superhero comics help with that too, because you have to deal with the figure. But do you see how we're getting an understanding of motion and pose and how the figure works? That's really the thing for me in terms of where we go with the figure. That's what it comes down to. And so if you can start to figure out, no pun intended, if you can start to figure out those things like weight and design, this is very John Singer Sargent sort of drawing to me, then you'll be in a much better position to be able to draw and figure these things out. So this is one of those books. Yeah, Monera is the master, 100%. This is one of those books that is tough to flip through. No, this is one of those books that kind of covers a lot of that stuff. Her back's not broken. Liefeld would disapprove. Oh my gosh, you're trying to get me in trouble with John. But there's the man, Willie Pogany, right there. And this is the title of the book. And you can see his figure, but look at how big he's doing this figure drawing. This guy is awesome, man. This guy's awesome. Yeah, Monera is a master, 100%. Sup? What's up? Indeed, Timmy Mello, he's saying hello to you. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Yeah, it's all about those foundation shapes, man. It's all about those foundation shapes. That's what it's about. Draw big or go home, I guess, was his motto. Gosh, there's like so much in here where I just go, can I kind of, maybe, sort of. So yeah, so here's him doing his sketches and some of his more illustration-like work, illustration-based work. And then you start seeing him getting into fabric and weight and a figure that's, you know, throwing a javelin right there or a spear. There we go. That's a little bit better. And characters acting. That's the stuff that makes this great. Yeah, that is pretty big for a drawing, isn't it? Yeah, no kidding. A self-portrait he wishes. You know, it's a life-size self-portrait. He feels like the big man. That's how he is, man. That's how it works. And then you look at this stuff right here. Man, I tell you what, I remember I was joking. We used to tell this joke all the time when I was in teaching illustration. I would always tell the students, I go, we learned to draw the nude figure, which I do think is very important, because when you get your illustration jobs, they're all your figures are going to be nude. Now, if you're doing my work, actually that might be true if you're illustrating Nosferatu or something like that. But for the most part, you've got to figure out clothes, and clothes have their own anatomy. And so that's really, to me, something that's very important to understand how to draw and get the angles of. Understanding, like, you can tell from a distance when you see a sketch or when you see someone at a distance what the fabric is they're wearing, whether it's jeans and it's a heavier fabric, or whether it's something thin like a cotton shirt. It's going to change the way something looks. I always got most out of figure drawing when I was able to work from a live model. It's true. I actually think drawing from live models is really important, which is why I tell people there's this website that that the company I believe is called Art Models, and they have photography of nude models, and they're 360 degrees. So they put them on almost like a Lazy Susan, a giant Lazy Susan, and they rotate each pose so you can see it from every angle. It's one of the best resources ever. I use it all the time in my work. I've bought God knows how many model sessions that I store, and it's a great way to learn to draw, because the problem is that who has the time to or the money to work from a live model, you know, on a reflex, and then at the same time, who can hold some of these poses forever? So you get a complicated pose. It's tough to do an hour session while you get it. Yeah, using a clothing catalog to understand how clothing distort the figure, and like, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, and so here are some more examples of some of his illustration and sketches. He did a ton of cool stuff. A ton of cool stuff. And so there you go. Really an outstanding artist. Understood. Was an illustrator, of course, as well, in addition to doing this stuff. Wings. Really great stuff there. Figure and costume. Horses. Great horse right there. Look at that. Just incredible right there. What's up, K-pop junkie? I can tell you what, someone in my house is incredibly excited about a certain world tour that's coming up. Hoping to see Jimin for the first time live. There you go. Oh my gosh, and welcome, welcome. And here you go. There's a deer. There's a bear. We got everything, a satyr. Of course, we're going to the Greeks. Let's see what else we have here. Oh my gosh, look at this stuff. More fabric. You get the idea. Willie Pogany is a giant and an outstanding and amazing artist. Amazing artist. So yeah, if you have not ever seen this book, it is worth getting. Willie Pogany's Drawing Lessons. Make sure you grab yourself a copy of it. There are newer editions of it, to be sure. There are newer editions. So, you know, Menschecker Technik. Don't you worry. You can get a hold of it. All right. So, let's talk about another crazy book. That Horse, Worthy of Mail-In. I can't speak for John. I mean, I've already got to worry about a cover being worthy of mail-in. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, you're right, Comic Books in Cahoots. I think he would like it. I think he would like it. So we talk a lot about when we hang out on these Sundays. And thank you guys for being here. Make sure you do hit the like. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Because it does help. It does help. As I've been thinking about the Bare Knuckle Art School show I'm going to do, and I got to design, I've come up with the title for episode 1 and breaking it down into boxes. But I also started thinking about how much of what I do. Got to bounce back to work. Like, share, and stay magnificent, everyone. You too, Tank Ferret. Have a wonderful Sunday, my friend. I started thinking about the books that we look at to understand things. The books that are the content book. And I was on Hard Art with Billy Tucci, with John Malin, with Shane Davis, with Ethan, and with Salty Draws. And I think Joe was out that week. Bird or turtle? It's going to be a snapping turtle, and it's great to see you here. How are you doing, man? And so one of the books that I had in my library for a very, very long time to help me understand how subjects that I kept having to draw and wanting to draw in my stuff worked. And this is a gigantic book, so I apologize. Let me see. I wonder if this will hold it. Let me see if this holds it, because that might make it a little easier. Not much. Yeesh. Okay, this is gonna be a little dicey, guys. I'll do my best here, but let's see here. We're gonna tip the old camera up and let me show you this book right here. This is the complete book of fighters, and I use this book. Oops, sorry to hit the speaker again, guys. I use this book like crazy when I was working. Hopefully, you guys can see it. And when I first started out, because I didn't have the internet, I didn't have, that I was like, that you were going to get good quality images of, and I wanted to understand how things worked. And this book right here was a lifesaver. It's every single plane that fighter plane that was ever built and flown up until this book was released. And it is an absolutely outstanding resource for anyone who wants to learn how this stuff works, how to draw it. And so I've been doing some work that I can't really talk about for a proposal that's going to require me to draw vehicles and all those kinds of things and deal with planes and all that. And this book will be your wingman. It can be my wingman anytime, Corey Landis. You know how it goes. And here you go. And so I got a hold of this book. Woohoo! Thank Vishnu for Shanth. Hail, dude. Hail, A. Riley, isn't it? It's good to see you, my friend. Let me see. Now, that's a big book of referencing. It absolutely is. And so I had sent the link to Billy after the show because I was telling him about this book and how just great it is. And you talk about like what's possible and the things that you can see in books like this. Look at that, man. Like 2 completely different paint schemes. Then you get a side view, a top view. You get all of that stuff. And I haven't gotten to one yet. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more so you guys can get a better handle on it here. I haven't gotten to it yet, but in this book, I mean, look at this stuff, man. Like, these are fantastic illustrations. Look at that. I mean, this is craft. This is drafting. This is what art really is about. It's about discipline and study and working when nobody is looking. What I was talking to someone about being an artist the other day. Again, another one of my brothers. My brothers runneth over. I have one of those fighter reference books from the early 2000s. You know what's funny? They have reprinted this, so I wonder if it's the same book. This book is a dictionary, but this is the stuff that made me buy the book, guys. Look at that. I mean, my God. Mein Gott. Look at that. How sick is that? In case you wanted to know, here's a little cross-section for you. How nuts. Oh, my mother did drafting, says Cranberry Langers. God bless her. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those lost art forms, but look at this. It was like I rang a dinner bell, wasn't it, Maromi? Maromi is just... This is great. Now all I need is Aviator Surge, and then I'm like all set, man. That's totally what it is. That's totally what it is. You know what I'm talking about. The idea of having to do technical drawings always gives me the hives. And here's the thing, right? You gotta break it down into parts. You don't learn to do it all. You start with ellipses, you start with form, and then you get a really good understanding. I always think when you're learning about these kinds of things, you shouldn't view the destination and how vast it is as a source of anxiety. I think it's really good to see it as, I'm going to take, like, every day I'm taking a step closer. Like I was watching The Equalizer with Denzel Washington the other day because I freaking love Denzel Washington, man. And he said, he has that great line in that movie where he says to the guy who's trying out to be a security guard, and he goes, progress, not perfection. Progress is what it's all about. It's not about being the finished article right out the gates. It's about having a clear view, beginning with the end in mind, as my wife always reminds me. Reminds her students, actually, too. Beginning with the end in mind in that sense, but also then moving relentlessly and methodically towards it. That is the craziest. The hardest plane to draw is the B-52 bomber. I don't even doubt it. Yeah, there's so many, and this book gives you paint schemes. It gives you turns for these various planes. I mean, just the madness of aviation, particularly during World War I. I mean, we've had a plane for like 5 minutes, and then we're having, aerial combat, which is just crazy to think about. Absolutely crazy to think about. Yeah, The Equalizer are a great series. Cranberry Langers, 100%. So look at all of this stuff. And how great. Look at, the paint schemes. I don't know if you guys can see that okay. But look at the paint schemes on these things. The artists are top tier. Hold on a second. I just realized something. I think... Let me just try this out here. These are KEOWN'S iPhone camera. Oh, I have the gamma adjusted. That's what it is. I have the gamma adjusted way too much right there, so it's affecting your ability to see some of the details. So now let's go back to another cross-section. Look at that. How awesome is that? Japanese science fiction books are like that. Spaceships, yes, exactly. Robots, etc. You're 100% right. Let me see here. Hail, Shanth. What's up, Art Haida? Back the Merry Boys. Indeed, guys, back the Merry Boys. If you have not backed that book, check it out. You can drop a link, Art Haida. Or if somebody has a link, do drop a link. But yeah, I have lots of those books too on mechs. I remember looking at the early Battletech game books because my buddy was playing that game, and of course we were both into Macross and Mospeda. You have this book, no kidding, The Indomitable Green Skull. That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a great book. It is definitely a book that's a keeper. This book introduced me. To things like pusher aircraft. I am fascinated by pusher aircraft. I'm not just in terms of the Wright brothers, because that's the first airplane, but in terms of the FE-2B and the DH-2, I think those are insane airplanes. Like they look. I was telling somebody that when I think about drawing planes and the planes that I get excited about telling stories with, if I were to ever do that, which I just don't. I couldn't. I just like to draw things like this for recreation. It's look at this. Is this the Eindecker? No, this is the Berg. This is the D1. But man, look at that. Just incredible. They were just figuring this stuff out. Oh, sorry, it's too low. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. You guys can see it a little bit better. And so I like to watch a lot of YouTube videos of people painting model kits. And it's just, incredible stuff. Just incredible stuff. Yes, the Red Baron's plane was aerodynamically awkward, but was a more maneuverable than any other warplane of the day. Do you mean the triplane, the biplane, or the Albatross? Which one were you talking about? Because I remember the Albatross to me is a work of art. I think the Albatross is one of those incredible planes. The way the body was designed and made, it was almost like a boat in the air. Yes, Shinjin, like in Godzilla -1, indeed. Look at this. Yeah, DB3 are my favorite. There you go. Yeah. I mean, guys, there's like, look at this, is crazy. We're not even anywhere in this book yet, so I'm going to start grabbing giant sections of it and, trying to plow ahead a little bit. But just to give you guys a sense of what's in these books and what you can get, and just the sweep. The triplane, got it, yeah. The tiny wheels on the airplanes always freaked me out. I know, I've been there. I've thought about that myself. It's crazy. I mean, things like this, I love the idea of the gun turret on an airplane. I love to do this stuff when I'm creating vehicles. Love that stuff. Hit the like, says Passmaster Dan. What's up, Passmaster Dan? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Oh, gosh. If I wasn't spinning plates right now, I would mod you in a second. Let me see here. So, yeah, we've got more stuff, more planes. And then let me see if I can get to... Oh, man. I mean, some of these are so... Oh, here you go. Always going to make me think of the Rocketeer. If you know, you know. Rocketeer and Doc Savage whenever I see it. But here you go. Look at this. Just incredible. Just incredible. Look at that. I mean, the guys who are working on these and doing these schematics and building these planes, the people flying them, it's all mad and brilliant at the same time. Here we go. Love this. I love drawing the Lewis gun. It's just I love the cartridge on it. It's incredibly cool airplane. Just brilliant stuff, man. Just great. I mean, look at this stuff, man. Holy cow. And books like this are just insanely inspiring to look at, just in terms of the ingenuity that's in them. And hold on a second, guys. Let me do this right here. Balsa wood, indeed. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Let me, where am I? Razor Kai, I want to unlock this. I'm going to make this smaller right there because I want to have more room for the book. So there you go. We're all set now. So yeah, this stuff, I mean, I remember seeing these for the first time. I love the way that the wheels go up because they're so giant. So you were talking about the smaller wheels before, freaking you out. Here we go. What's up, Tiny Effort? Yes, indeed, the original Springball fan has checked in, going all the way back to 2002. Isn't that wild? I still can't believe it. But look at how large the wheels are on that. I mean, that thing got massive wheels on it. And then here you go. And this is the stuff, for me, that makes it all the more fun. I mean, just look at that. Like, you could just dive in to this thing and see where every single thing is. You see those giant wheels. Look at those wheels. Just incredible, man. I mean, I look at this stuff. I mean, look, I'm not saying by any stretch that I am somebody who is into doing this level of drafting and things like that. I can't do this kind of stuff. I mean, I can't even imagine how long it would take me. And I think you just must have a lot of just incredible knowledge. But I am so glad somebody does. I just don't want to live in a world where we can't have these things, whether it's the side view paint deco illustrations like what you're seeing right here. This stuff is beautiful to me. These are beautiful works of art. Now, I know some of you aviation fans probably may have prints of things like this in your house and up on the wall. I know they do sell them. But man, are they beautiful. The Japanese figured out that a plane can outmaneuver a bullet if it isn't weighted down, indeed. I mean, these guys were really just figuring these things out, these early aeronautical engineers. I love technical drawings. I wanted to be a professional graphic artist. Wow. Well, it's have you done any drawings? Because I was just thinking about this because I know you had your surgery. I'm assuming was for carpal tunnel, and I was thinking. I just think it's something relaxing to do as long as you're not holding the pencil within an inch of its life and you're keeping it. I think that's something I'm going to have to definitely cover in the art school show that I'm doing, the Bare Knuckle Art School show, which is how to hold a pencil without hurting your hand, because very few people know how to do that. and it's rough. But do let me know, Past Master Dan. And here you go. Yeah. The Sea Harrier. Look at this thing, man. I mean, just mind-blowing. I just print them out of work, says Moromi. There you go. But do you hang them up on the wall, Moromi, as well? Let me know. So this passion I had for drawing things accurately came from me falling in love with Jeff Darrow's stuff. Because Jeff Darrow was always drawing everything so spot on and so detailed, and I wanted to be able to do that when I needed to. So I started really focusing on airplanes and looking at, things like that, just because I wanted to make things feel more solid that I was drawing. But I cannot say enough good things. Nope. Okay, I got you. Now, don't hang them on the walls. Yeah, you want to make sure you get... oh, jeez. I mean, these things are insane when you look at them. I mean, I'm like, somebody got on that thing and said, all right, let's do this. We've got 2 Lewis guns. 2 wheels. We'll figure it out. Just incredible stuff, man. Just incredible stuff. And again, look at these schematics. How good are these? Yeah, your hand is definitely going to hurt if you draw a lot. Yeah, 100%. What's up? Ray Ray is happy. It's good to see you. I'm happy too. Happy Sunday. Man, the amount of time it would take to draw all those little internal details. Yeah, rivets, man. I'm telling you. You have to be crazy like Ethan drawing the CYBERFROG armor and reflections. Well, Ethan has... It's funny you say that. I think Ethan has the kind of sensibility where this is the kind of thing he would understand. Because... how do I word it? There's certain people like Travis Charest and people like Ethan who really do have... I have no doubt they would have been pushed towards drafting and being professional draftspeople, in the golden era of art for sure. In terms of just the artistry of it, it takes a very high level of attention to detail, and you can see it in Ethan's character designs with armor and the way that he likes to turn form, that he just has a natural knack for it. And it's just great stuff. Sean, I read a good book some years ago. Hold on, my glasses just fell. Called War Eagles. It was based more on a movie that was never made. Nazis attacked America with World War II planes, and giant eagles with riders fought back. Holy cow, that sounds cool. Man. Facts, it takes a lot of composure to slow down enough to do all those details. You're absolutely right. Yeah, the movie was made right after the original King Kong. No kidding. I have to find that. Yeah, Hail Ray Ray, Cranberry, and Ghost Goo, indeed, 100%. Yeah, but World War II got in the way. There you go. You're absolutely right. Yeah, whoa, hail dude to Ghost Goo. Says A. Riley in it. And so, yeah, you start getting designs that are just so aerodynamic and so sleek. You start seeing sci-fi illustrators and designers start referencing this stuff like crazy. What a beautiful, beautiful plane. Just incredible, man. Wild, wild, wild. Ethan has the patience to do that, which is why he's one of the best Green Lantern artists. Yeah, absolutely. And he also, if you think about it, one of the things that Ethan did with creating the emotional spectrum with the rings and then the way that he approached things is this thing that Akira Kurosawa talked a lot about, which is this idea of creating an immaculate reality, which is your attention to detail brings the world together and makes it more convincing. And I think one of the things that is a sign that you have that kind of mind is that your mind trips up on really interesting things like Blackest Night. Like, what does that mean? What's behind that? I know it's something he's just saying, but we could explore that. What's up, Soul Curialt? How are you doing? It's great to see you. Let me see. Why can't we see your cover on the Black Riding Hood campaign, your trailer too? Yes, I've got to... I got to get that stuff together for John. Absolutely have to get... I mean, I've got it. I can send him an image of it, but... yeah, I've got to put that up there. But it is in the box. If you're looking to buy it, it does come in the box, 100%. So you will be getting that cover. But yeah, it's nuts, man. I look at this stuff and I think it's great. Hey, what's up, Boombots? How are you doing, my friend? Hello to you. And it's great to have you with us on this fine Sunday. I hope you're having a good one. I mean, my gosh, man, when I look at this stuff, it's so cool. It's a feast for the eyes. A feast, I say. There it is. Man, crazy stuff. Oh, God, look at that. So good, man. So good. Love this stuff. And gosh, see, it was funny because we were talking about wheel size, and I was trying to solve a particular problem with this vehicle design I'm working on. And for me, where I kind of hit the wall with it was I was going, like I want to do big wheels, but like I got to find a way they make sense. And when I see this kind of stuff, this is where they make sense. This is, to me anyway, where they make sense. And I love that kind of thing. And so you got to figure out what the body type is going to be, all of that stuff. So yeah, guys, we didn't even get through half of this book, but if you are looking for a book that is just, I don't think it costs very much money either. Okay, perfect stopping point. There you go. There's the Drydecker Type 3. There's your triplane right up there. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, that is, oh man, I could flip through this book all day. I know you guys know this, but just incredible. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it bothers me when people change series. These details that define the fictional worlds and logic matter. Yeah, I mean, you see that it's a strange thing. No matter how whimsical and fantasy based something is, this is like, if you show people these designs, it's like the GBZ. Should I sub to Shanth? Says Don, draw stuff. Well, if you would like, I'd love to have you. How's that sound in the studio? Let me see. But yeah, gosh, this beautiful sort of detailed airbrush work that goes into doing an illustration like this on an airplane is beautiful. I love the wheel. Love the wheel. Incredible. And welcome, Don. Don draws stuff, bear in mind. Oh, the folding wings. I mean, you just, come on, guys. And that's another thing I was messing with this past week, because I love the idea. He likes fighter jets. I like fighter jets. Maybe he's not as bad as I thought. Hey, listen, fuck it, I'm subbing. Hey, listen, any way I can make it happen for you, man. Any way I can make it happen for you. Sub, yay. What's up, Cranberry Langers? Langer says, Past Master Dan. Yeah, I mean, books like this. So, my favorite documentaries that I've seen on aviation are, my favorite series is 4 Years of Thunder, which is a 3-part World War I documentary series with archival footage, and it's incredible. Art T-Bear was there when the wheel was created, says Past Master Dan. I feel like I haven't seen enough art lately. I miss that guy, man. His work is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do it. Mary Boy's stream on Don's show yesterday was fun. Awesome. Very cool. Yes, and mods, if you want to post a link to Mary Boy's in the chat, please do. I mean, this is just when we start getting into the anything is possible to explore aviation. I love that stuff, man. It's so cool. It reminds me of those racing boats I used to watch, like the Budweiser boat, the Atlas Van Lines boat I used to watch race on the river. They were just so cool. So we'll stop with something like this, because I think that's a good place to kind of, you can't get much better than that in terms of the way it's drawn and the way it's handled. Just incredible stuff, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. Cannot say enough good things about it. So if you have not, if you're looking for this kind of book and you want, Art has the chisel that sculpted the first wheel in his closet. There you go. You guys, man. It's too funny. So yeah, so here's another strange aspect of the things that we look at. This is such a great stream. All of this needs to be documented. Yeah, well, I want to make sure I'm doing this. So now let's take a complete left turn. So as you know, we often do here on this channel. So when I was, there we go. When I was working on the sketches for the Draw Me, idea I have, which is going to have like, a turtle character I'm creating, just like in the original one, a pirate, and then a mouse character, just like the first one of that. I started looking at artists that I really admire and works I really love. And one of the artists I love in a movie that is such a blast for me as an artist is a movie some of you guys may know that Mark Crash McCreary worked on. And this right here is the movie and the book. And I think the character designs and the creature designs in this are fantastic. I love the stuff that Crash did in this. It was almost like Crash has always pushed it. So for those of you guys who don't know, he's one of the designers who did the characters for Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jurassic Park movies. He even worked on Batman Returns, the makeup effects and things like that. Just an incredible artist. Thank you, Cranberry Landers. Much appreciated, man. There is the link to Mary Boys. If you guys want to go and back that on Indiegogo, there it is. Yeah. And Mark's got this almost naturalistic, realistic way of drawing things. But what I loved about this story and this book and the way that it was done. Hey, Art of Roy, how are you doing, man? It's great to see you. I'm at my drafting and architecture classes as well. In my drafting and architecture classes as well as a commercial illustration job. We did exploded views and cutaways of houses and a few medical devices. Awesome, Art of Roy. Yes, so important. So important to do that stuff. I mean, you got to be fed by curiosity with all the things that you're doing. It's what kind of makes things fun and worth doing. But I want to see if I can find where we get to some of the character designs and the artists. But here you go. Here's a photo of one of Crash's designs for this movie. Yeah, that's right. Art blowing fatties. There you go. Hail Shanth, what's up, Scribe Comics? How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Let me see. Who else? Did I miss anybody else? Okay, good. Just making sure. So, yeah. So, you've got the character designs. And there were 3 artists who worked on it. Or 3 or 4 artists, I think, who worked on character designs in particular. They more than that worked on the movie. But when you look at how Crash tries to resolve things in his pencil drawings and his digital sketches, here's the expression studies by Crash. That sense of space, movement, value, all things we're going to be covering on that show. Because I think that this is the stuff people need to be reasserting in their work. You know, and here's, what is this artist's name? David Shannon. So David Shannon is the picture book artist who started coming up with the initial look of things, and then Crash drove it home so that it could be, you know, created by ILM in a very realistic fashion. It's a very unusual movie, and I love it. I love it for its craziness. It kind of sticks in your mind. So these are the things that when I'm seeing them, they just inspire the heck out of me. Him and a guy named Miles Tevis is also brilliant. Brilliant stuff. Bow, indeed. There you have it. Yeah, we're going to have fun, guys. That's what happens. That is what happens. Just incredible stuff. Great character design. Keeping the form simple. There's a turtle right there for you. The mayor, look at that. Incredible. Just incredible. Rattlesnake Jake. Clearly they couldn't call him Jake the Snake, right? Because that would have been a copyright infringement. But I love this sketch by, I guess it was Eugene Yelchin. Is that it? Yeah. But he really simplified the character down to its essentials, and that is just great. What's up, Skeleton Core Comics? How are you doing, man? Good to see you. I hope you are doing well on this Sunday. Yeah, Rango Art Book. This one is great. It is a great book to have. There's a couple of books that are just brilliant when it comes to this kind of stuff. And yeah, look at that. Just amazing stuff. The idea of making the rattle a gun. The tragic armadillo. Don't know how he's still kicking, but I guess he's okay. Look at that. What's up, Marcus Calgrew? How are you doing, man? Gosh, it's been a long time since I've seen you on this channel. I see you when I'm over on Graham's, man. It's great to see you, brother. How are you doing? This character cracks me up, man. I love this character. Makes me smile every time I see it. It's so great, man. And yeah, I loved how with the hawk, they put this nice, like, sort of steel toe thing on the beak with the beautiful ornate metalwork. Isn't that awesome? So good, man. Is that the Johnny Depp movie? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's worth a watch, man. Yeah, Rango was such a wonderful movie. I agree, man. I tell you what, speaking of people who Hollywood has thrown under the bus, man. But yeah, I mean, the amount of imagination and ingenuity in this is what makes it what it is. Let me turn the light down. I think I have the brightness up a little too much on this. There we go. That's a little better. It's not as much of a glare. But, I mean, just incredible imagination. And so you get to see... Oh, here it is. You get to see all of the designs for these characters and how they're put together and how they have that sort of sense of fun and play about them. Yes, like a steel-toed boot, 100% cranberry langers. Yeah, I like the cracked beak. Me too. Great stuff. But look at these guys. Everybody has got... It's almost got this kind of... trying to think of who does this kind of playful stuff, because there's a lot of people who are doing it in the 70s and the 80s. I think of Roth's, Ratfink. I think of James Groman's work, which I've been talking about a lot lately, I feel. Just really making cool creatures. Look at that. Beautiful, man. I'm one of Graham's only mods. Oh no. Was there a culling of mods? Yeah, Graham's awesome, man. I was gonna send him something the other day. Totally forgot to. Just monster related. But look at these characters, how nuts they look. I love this. I mean, this is the funniest one. They named this character Kinski after Klaus Kinski, I'm guessing, in The Great Silence. That is something else. And then, of course, you see them in their proper environment. So for me, that's the stuff that I'm interested in sort of exploring with drawing. I mean, if you can only draw... How do I put it? There's got to be a high bar for drafting and drawing when it comes to making artwork. Whether you hit it or not, you should be able to take people as far as they want to go in learning how to do things. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing. Yes, Roquefort-esque. There you go, Sergeant Politeness. Yeah, Kenneth does some really great stuff, man. Yeah. It's that sense of play, that sense of story, and... I mean, look at these. This bat is sick, man. And it's got like a quilted patch on its wing. Look at that. Almost looks like the Country Bears Jamboree character right there. Oh, man, I hate this glare. It's driving me nuts. There you go. Do you guys see it? The bat has almost like a quilted patch right there. Really, you do pass, Master Dan. Yeah, I mean, that stuff is it's really cool. I'm glad that people are kind of getting into this stuff now. This book's spine is about ready to give up the ghost. But yeah, there you go. It looks like he's got a lobotomy scar on him. But really cartoony, really fun stuff. And a great flick. A really great flick. So yeah, if you have not seen it, it's worth a look. But this is the kind of stuff that you kind of want to put into your system when you're trying to figure out. Look, there's the environments. We're making environments out of different objects. We're referencing various films. But we really have to, figure out how we want to tell that story. And so you're going to call upon... I mean, I love seeing environments like this, which you guys can't see, of course, because it's getting a glare. Look at that. Look at that environment. How good is that? Fago Tree got made a mod against their will. Oh, no. Terrible. There we go. If I keep it at an angle like this, you can see it a little bit better. But do you guys see what I mean? And this is a very wide layout shot. Very wide. Oh, thank you, Ray Ray is a hippie. I appreciate it, man. I love this kind of stuff, man. I love sharing books with people because everybody needs a little bit of inspiration. The studio that I have with my brother, Nick, who I've talked about a lot, we called it the Speakeasy Studio, and it was Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil was the joke because it's I didn't want to go in there and just have inspiration drained from you. So it's like I always called it our inspiration preserve. And that's what I want to do with Comics and Curios inside the studio. And that's what I want to do with the art classes because it's how I've always done things. It's how I always, do these things. And I think it's you put good artwork and inspiring things in front of people and it changes the way their day is going. I mean, when this stream started, we were talking about, and even though we're not talking about it now, I don't care. I'll bring it up again. I just learned the news that 2 days ago we lost Felix Haas. And I've known Felix Haas from just being in the chat and seeing him in the chat, and I had no idea about that. And I was thinking, we're so fortunate to be here and get to spend this time together and talking about art and books. I don't want to ever waste a minute of it if I can help it. And so it's really about inspiring because that's how this thing goes. It's so quick, and the time you spend with people is so important. Movies are expensive to make. And something like this is worth it. Yes, I agree 100% on that. 100% on that. Just incredible stuff. Look at this stuff. Incredible stuff. Jeez, thank you. Ray Ray is happy. You're killing me, man, with compliments, man. But yeah, things go fast and things are crazy. Felix was such a good man. Horrible news on what has happened. Yeah, I mean it's tough, guys, and like when you hear things like that, it's rough. Like I was thinking about, there are certain people. I kind of can't believe I'm blanking on her name. I don't want to blank on her name because it's going to drive me crazy. Who, guys, chat if you can help me. Who was the actress? My wife is going to get it. What was the name of the actress who passed away recently? Who was the mom in Home Alone? Was just in every movie. Sorry, Catherine O'Hara. Catherine O'Hara. Did you guys remember that? Catherine O'Hara. She passed away. I think it was like a week or two ago, and like that affected a lot of people in an incredibly profound way. And she was one of those folks who was just an absolutely outstanding actor and character actor, if you know what I mean. Thank you so much. See, Darth Solo got it. There you go. And I thought about that, and I actually think it's so one of the greatest things in life are, hey, all, what's up, Ice Queen KT? How are you doing? Yep, says infamous Mr. Cursed. Oh, yeah, she passed too. Yeah, so you guys know. And you don't realize sometimes the way that a performer, Beetlejuice, I could just go on and on of the things that she did in her performances. But she was such a brilliant and incredible presence in every movie she was in that we all sort of felt like we knew her, even though we didn't, know her personally. She made us feel that way, and we have so many joyous memories of being, Mrs. Andretti's quick on the draw. One of her favorite actors, has been a big fan of almost everything she's in, including movies like Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman and all of those great things. Yes, Mom will be missed. You're absolutely right. And you think about that, she talked about that. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose, folks. Apologies. Let me mute myself for a second. Sorry, guys. But people, she was a great actor, 100%. But she is the kind of person who's not, even when you're just amazed by her performance, there's a way that she works and has worked, I should say, that was so effortless and was so her that there's not a replacement for her. There's nobody who can slide into that place because she was just very real with people. And you think about that sort of realness that people who kind of know who they are. They have things going on. Norm Macdonald comes to mind too. I think when Norm Macdonald's passing definitely affected me because I thought, here's somebody who he did his last comedy show without an audience because that's how much jokes mattered to him. And I think it's the same thing. Like, we have people in our lives, and it's just great to enjoy time together with each other for however much time we have. I love spending this time with you. I love making books for you guys. Springball, the link is in the description, guys. I was working on that last night. I was working on, I've been working on all this stuff simultaneously. Talking to the printer again about Nosfero. They needed more information. I'm waiting for them to get me a new sort of agreement thing that's worked out there. The world changed when Norm passed away. Absolutely right. And so they there's so many different things going on, and I was looking at the Black Riding Hood cover, and I thought, yes, I know, that's 100%. She had a strange condition with her heart being on the mirror reverse side of her body. I had never heard of that before she passed away. Yes. And there's this other phenomenon called mirror twins where people are a mirror image twin. It's like an incredibly rare anomaly where you go to look and the liver's on the opposite side, the heart's on the opposite side. It is one of the most bizarre things I've ever learned about in terms of genetic possibilities. Just incredible. And so, I remember when, with great artists, what I like to do is I like to celebrate their work, obviously long after they're gone, but going forward from there. So when I open up a book, and when we look at these books, there's people who get books after the fact. There's people who get books, like Harry Potter, let's say, a series that as it's coming out, they're waiting for the next chapter, or Star Wars, as it's coming out. You don't know Darth Vader's Luke's father. You don't know where this stuff is going to go. And the thing that I keep coming back to when I look at this stuff is that there's something new happening here in Comicsgate. There's something new happening in crowdfunding which is you guys are here when the thing is being funded. So it's not even you guys are the first people to go buy it in the store. You guys are here when these things are gestating, when these things are waiting to come out, and when you guys watch the process of us making the artwork. That's what I love about it, and it's unique in so many ways. It's hard to describe. You know, Mirror Universe confirms, says Mechanoid. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Glad to have you with us, man. And so, yeah, so that's the stuff that will always kind of inspire me and make me think about what's possible in work and how we can do, you know, the things that we want to do as artists. So I'm going to put on a trailer for the new show I'm doing because I want to grab a soda because I am needing a soda. So let me put this on real quick for you guys, and then we'll come back. And this is, where the hell is it? Here we go. Sorry, I got my wires crossed there. This is a new show we're going to be doing. I'll be absolutely right. Yes, he would 100% be absolutely disgusted with the how PC everything's gotten. So here you go. Here's a look at the show that's in development. So I'll be right back. With a little required reminders there at the end as well. So yeah, so that's the show that I'm going to be adding to this channel now that I've gotten on a routine with the Sunday show, Comics and Curios Inside the Studio. I'm going to talk about a lot of cool things, but what I wanted to do is people do artwork and they send in artwork and they ask us to look at it sometimes, and there really isn't a good show or forum for doing that in some kind of structured way. Where CG gambles on dreams, dude. Yes, indeed, it does. 100%. I couldn't say it any better. You know, it's what was? Dang it! You just made me think of something. What was the thing? Well, I was talking with Mrs. Ingetti about, you know, just how crazy it is. Like, I talked to a buddy of mine I haven't talked to in a while. I sent him a direct message and you know, to see how he was doing. His father had just passed, and I sent him a picture of my kids, who are now 20. And I sent him the picture. He goes, "How old are they?" Like, he was just shocked. And I said, "They're older than we were when we met," is the best way I can put it. And it's wild because I had this situation where somebody was, who I haven't talked to in a long time, former student, was asking me about he wanted to get a set of eyes on something he was working on, and I offered. And he said he said, "Wow, like, I was just looking at the crowdfunding you're doing. It's amazing, like, that you've got, you know, that you're generating that kind of thing." And I said, "Yeah," I said, but it amazes me every single day. But I go, it's Comicsgate. It's this thing that we're doing in this space too. Like, you can't. You're going to meet people who are passionate and motivated and want to support artwork and back artwork, but this is something that really is such a gift for artists to come in and work in and do this kind of thing. And I also told him, because I wasn't, you know, going to mince words, I go, yeah, I'm around a bunch of people that a lot of people don't like, and a lot of people decide to say, you know, oh, if you hang out with these people, you're persona non grata and all of those kinds of things. And sometimes you have to make choices in your life, which for me, it wasn't really much of a choice, in the sense of, I don't like people telling me that I have to do this or I have to do that, or who I can hang out with and who I don't get to hang out with. That's never going to be something I'm interested in. It just isn't. And I feel a lot more comfortable around people who are like that than people who are political. and all about office politics and all this kind of stuff. Like, that's just not for me. So when I'm hanging out with John, that's one of the things that makes it, we're talking about art of the show. If John and I were, we first, Shane, John and I just got sent a link. Like, it was just a Hangout stream or anything like that. And they were already talking about hard art and what they wanted to do with it. And then they were like, well, do you want to be on the show? Which was really, really cool. The first thing I did was I went and I just started brainstorming on what could be things for the show. And that's how I came up with the design, like the title design and all of that kind of stuff. But what was great about it is, and this is behind the scenes stuff that you guys, don't get to see that is great. I love sharing. John looked at it, and John is very, very particular about things. Very particular about things. He's like me. He's in that sense. He gives really good feedback. He says exactly what he wants. And he was like, I think that R needs to be raised up. Can you put it on the middle line and maybe we can lose the restricted thing over it? And can we move this over? And I had already generated all this sort of stuff. And so to get that kind of feedback back was great. And I was like, how about this? How about this? How about this? And apply it, because you want to work that way. Oh, I know. I was thinking about SCTV, Indeed, and I was thinking about John Candy. I mean, God, all that stuff, man. John Candy was another person who I felt big time because he just made it happen. Yeah, he made you connect with him, and he was one of the most unlikely and yet totally likely movie stars you're ever going to see. I think Uncle Buck is one of the greatest movies ever made. Another person too, as well, is Mr. Hughes and all of his films that he did. Ferris Bueller, Uncle Buck, writing Christmas Vacation, all of that stuff. There's people who just really capture America and that quality of it, and capture the West really well. And he was one of those directors who did. And it's, what are you going to do? That's just the great stuff, right? Yeah, ditto, indeed. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I'm often thinking about when I'm doing this work. So yeah, John was great. And when John has a thought on something and he gives you notes on stuff, and even when I asked him, I was like, can you take a look at some of the stuff I'm doing on Springball? The thing I was most concerned about in showing Springball to anybody was getting canned advice. I don't know if you guys can hear the coughing, but poor Mrs. Zingetti she's got a terrible cough right in time for her vacation week. So, oh my gosh. So, if you guys want to send her best wishes to her for health, they're always appreciated, guys. But my better half. But the thing is for me is that we also lost Papa Wheelie recently too. Yes, indeed. Oh man, I know. Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip. 4 orange whips. Yes. Yes. Oh man, you're killing me. You're killing me with this, Mr. Candy. Yes. The grindhouse style of hard art is the trick to making the show work. Lean into it. Yes. So that's a perfect example. So those were the things I came up with. I went because John loves Quentin Tarantino, and I love adding the texture to things. Thank you, Timmy Mello. I will pass that along. Love from the chat, my dear. Love from the chat. And so yeah, so I grabbed that, and it was just that. And once I designed the logo, then I put it over that, and then John wanted me to move the R around. I showed them a couple different fonts. I found this font I really liked for it. And then of course I built out the Flat Earth logo and all of that stuff. All that stuff was just sort of stuff I scratch built. For those of you guys who don't know, yeah, something is going around Art Hyde. I agree. Yeah. Lots of people are coughing lately. But the cool thing about it is that you're trying to capture a feel when you do a show, even with Comics and Curios inside the studio or Bare Knuckle Art School. I try to really build the shows. Oh my goodness. Get better soon, Mrs. E, with a super chat of $3.50 from Cranberry Landers. Thank you, Cranberry. We will put it towards some Tylenol and some Mucinex. Thank you, my friend. And here we go. So I was watching, and thank you, Cranberry Landers. Hail to you, brother. It's much appreciated. So I was watching AJ over at the Y-Files the other day, and he's got a great new show that he's doing where he does long form interviews with people, built a set and all of that kind of stuff. What? Yes, indeed, man. Love it. So I was checking his stuff out and it was great. And then I was looking at, what's it called? Oh gosh, what was the other one? Something along those lines. Oh, I was thinking about the Twilight Zone and how when you're doing a show or you're doing a book or whatever it is you're doing, there always comes this time when you're trying to create a feel for it, or you're trying to create a vibe for it, and it's like the music to Twilight Zone is perfect. The way that he comes in and his voice in particular is just incredible when he comes onto the screen. That's what I love. Sean, I don't mean to alarm you, but Shane Davis is willingly doing a draw stream. Hell, may have actually frozen over. Is that what he's doing right now? Is he doing a draw stream right now? Oh my God. Shane's awesome, man. So just so you guys get the joke, I was laughing the other day about all of the streaming over people controversy and all this craziness, and I thought there's so many people I don't know how many millions of people are streaming on YouTube all the time, but I find that stuff absolutely crazy because I'm watching stuff where people have got like 1 million live viewers and I'm going, man, it's like it's just so nuts. But yeah, Shane is I was thinking about this the other day. Shane's got one of my favorite books in Comicsgate. Love his characters, love the fights. I don't know if you guys know Inglorious Rex, but if you don't, it's one of my absolute favorite books. And he just did a dynamite King Kong cover on his book. That's, I think, can someone in the chat let me know what is the King Kong cover? Say that 6 times fast. Is the King Kong cover like a limited cover on the website? Is that what it is? Does anyone in the chat know? Please do let me know if you know that one. But man, is it great. I have not seen him do King Kong artwork before. Maybe he has, but I love it. It's great. Hail, Sean, sorry to miss today, but it's NASCAR season. Hell yeah. The Daytona 500. Oh, wow. Yeah, I wonder if my son knows about that. Is into it. Oh, it's the Second Chance campaign, says Sergeant Politeness. Excellent. Man, is that cover good. The end is nice, Kelly. You guys don't need to worry about that. Shane can draw stream without, the world ending and it being an apocalypse, He loves to draw. I think a lot of us are enjoying drawing with you guys. It takes a little while, though, to get over the nerves of that, the stress of that. Because you do kind of get this I don't know, I've always done it, so I was doing it in front of students, but when I first used to draw in front of students, I was so nervous about it. It was just, I don't know, there was just something about it that was nerve-wracking, because I just kept thinking, oh my gosh, all these eyes are looking at me while I draw, and it's funny, it was the same thing. Look at by the way, this is my favorite hat in the world right here. I don't know if you guys have seen this. You plan on streaming next Sunday? I'm going to be streaming every single Sunday, 100%, my friend. Don't you worry, Darth Gutierrez. I will be streaming every single chance I get. But yeah, Shane is my kaiju buddy. He's my boxing and fight buddy. When stuff is going on, I can actually talk boxing and fights with him. So thank God for Shane Davis, man. And I love, speaking of hard R, and yeah, some people were asking me that on the show the other day. So when I came up with the logo, all I was thinking is, oh, I could paint that on a hat. And so yeah, I did a hand-painted hard art hat to wear on the show because I thought it would be fun. But this is one of my favorite hats with a nod to one of my favorite movies. This is actually the hat that Quint wore. What an incredible actor, speaking of. My God. Everybody in that was top form, by the way. But the actor who played Quint had this hat on. He folded the bill, which I almost never do. Never fold a bill. And then I've got the Book of the Dead pin, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Jaws on there. So I've got quite a few of the gotta throw that on. Quite a few of the things that I absolutely love. And man, do I love the movie Jaws and all of that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I'm interested in. So here's something I want to do that I've been planning to do on this show for a little bit. I'm going to point the camera down at the desk, and I'm going to grab some stuff to show you guys because I haven't done this in a while, and I want to make sure I do. So hang on one second. Let's see. You're going to hear loud noises, guys. I apologize. This is going to be crazy. Let's see how it goes. You're going to hear a loud crash in a second. So I wanted to share with you guys something that people don't get to see. That's a rather ominous fate that comes with Quint's hat. Yeah, it is. But you know what? He went out like a G. He didn't put a life vest on. So, I haven't shown this stuff in a while, but it's right here in the studio, and I thought I should. So for those of you guys who don't know, and those of you guys who have not gotten Nosfero yet, which it's at the printer, we just keep having, like, I got to hear from this person, then talk to this person, so I'm ready on my end. I haven't looked at these since I put them in the filing cabinet. But these are the original paintings, hand-painted, for Nosfero, the Cryptwalker, and a lot of the stuff I've been doing. Yeah, yes, it does, actually. Yeah, I'm trying to draw a snapping turtle and get that character of it. And you're right, I just keep coming back to that. It looks like a macaw or something. It's kind of funny. But these are some of those original paintings. One of these, this one's in gouache, this one's in acrylic, and trying to keep that consistency when they stopped making the paper that I used for I don't know how many years. And I was like, I want to try to mix things up so I have some range as far as where I can go. But this is where that stuff happens. What's up, Siege Perilous? By the way, I need to say hello to you because it's been a minute. Okay, that's the end of the book. Although I don't know if you'll understand much of it, but I'm going to show this page. If you don't want to, it's not really a wild spoiler, this particular page, but if you don't want to be spoiled or whatever, you don't want to see anything, there you go. And what's up, Grey Wolf Graphics? How are you doing? But this right here, and I think everything is suitable. There's one of the pages from the book. I'm not going to show you the bottom part of it because YouTube would not like that. Let's see here. Here's a page some of you guys know well and have seen. There you guys go. These are the originals, and this is where the stuff is made, man. Oh, thank you so much, Cranberry Landers. I appreciate it. Hail, dude, and Shot. It's a pleasure to have you here, Siege Perilous. A pleasure to have you here. Let me adjust the gamma back again, because now I think the gamma... Oh, that's the gamma on me. Let me see here. Right here. I don't want to adjust that. I want to go to here. There we go. And adjust it. See, there you go. Now you guys can see it. So there's that one. This one I can't show you the bottom of, no pun intended, because there is a bottom if we go further down. But this one right here. It's not Stonehenge. This is actually 300-pound cold-pressed Strathmore paper, which they discontinued. They stopped making it, which is completely wild. And now you've seen this page before. This was the most, and it's a huge double-page spread. This is the most insane page that I've ever done of comic book layout page, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever done. And this thing, really, if I had the time and the energy, should be a poster. But it is just insane. And this is on acrylic illustration board, and this is in acrylic paints. And I mean, hand painting in perspective, all these little pages with writing on them for this, it was just incredible. Oh, Strathmore Bristol is great. Yeah, make posters and count the money. Exactly. I know. I've got to do something like that. I use mostly Strathmore Bristol. Yeah, that stuff is great paper. I've actually... Where have I been to? I think I've been... No, I was to Canson headquarters. So, yeah. So, these are some of the pages that have been a part of the artistic sort of journey for Nosfero. And I don't show these originals a lot, but I want to make sure that I show them more. Thank you, Mechanoid. I appreciate that, man. Let me grab some more. Hang on a second. Yeah, you guys are going to like this one, I think. Some of you guys may have seen this. So I got to adjust my mic a little bit here. Sorry for the sound. There we go. That's a little better. Can move this over. Here you go. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but this was the first time, like when I was doing a painting of Greylock, where I started to really get comfortable with his look. A little bit of action, a little bit of grips, a little bit of a nod to a Tim Vigil Faust cover. I absolutely love this page. This is one of my favorite pages in the book. And what's fun for me about this stuff is when I get a chance to show it to you guys, if I can find it, is just for reference, please don't slide page. That's going to slide anyway. Just for reference, so you guys, how I get used to seeing these things. This is the page in the comic book right here. And then that's the original artwork. So I'm so used to seeing it at a smaller scale. This is annoying. There we go. That's a little bit better. Let's see if that holds. I'm so used to seeing it at a smaller scale that when I see it large like this, it's crazy. All right, take care, Darth Gutierrez. Thank you, Art Haida. I appreciate that, my friend. So yeah, when I get to see these originals, which I have not seen since I sent the book to print, probably because I couldn't look at them anymore, or I was going to see more things I wanted to fix, which is usually how it goes. But man, because of you guys, I was able, and because of your support and your backing, I was able to do a fully painted comic book like this. And someone asked me, they were saying, you know, like, how do you feel about the work and how do you feel about, you know, the stuff you do? And I said, look, it's all difficult. It's all a ton of work. But this right here is one of the first things the art books 1 and 2 were definitely, but Nosfero is one of the first things I ever got back. And I was like, I am completely proud of this for all the things that I want to do better and all the things I could improve. I am so proud of what this took to make, and I'm so proud to have this, and it's just crazy. What's up, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969? Great to see you, man. And I think you guys probably know what I mean. It's like when you know you left it all in the ring. Now, that actually is a spoiler page, so I can't really show that one. You wouldn't understand it, but it just, I don't think it's a good idea to show you that page. But yeah, so this is the stuff, man, for me. When I'm sitting here and I'm looking at, like, well, what do I want to do next? And where do I want to go with Nosfero? And how do I want to put this stuff together? And how do I create this immaculate reality? It's very similar what I'm doing here as it is with when I'm working on Springball. So let me show you a couple other things I'm working on too right now, because it's fun to do for me. And make sure you say hello to each other. If you have not liked yet, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. But let's look at some cool stuff. Some cool stuff. So let me open up this, and we'll see how this goes. That's how it always works. We'll see how this goes. Let's try this. Let me go to screen share, and then, woohoo! Look at that. And then I'm going to go to, let's see, not here. I want to go to here. And let's go grab, not entire screen, because that's going to get confusing. Adobe Photoshop 2026. So here you go. What's up, Michelle Bowers? How are you doing? Man, I disappeared for 1 minute, and there you are. It's great to have you with us. So this is the Black Riding Hood cover right here that I'm working on. And if you haven't seen it before and you were curious what it looks like, this right here is what it looks like. And I've got a bunch more things to do on it. Even though it gets flattened and reflattened, I've done probably over 500 something layers on this thing, because I'm doing things like color glazes and things like that. But this is what kind of goes into when I'm doing a cover. And I wanted to have there be the 2 on this cover to be blood. I did this is an absolute homage to Tomb of Dracula, because I did a stream on John Malin's members only streams. We look at comic books and we look at different things, and I had told John, or maybe he already knew, I can't remember, that Tomb of Dracula was Todd McFarlane's #1 book, and he loved the art, and it was his biggest influence on Spawn and everything he did. And John's like, let's talk about that. Let's review. Let's get the omnibus. So I got the omnibus for it, which has the first appearance of Blade, and it was just one of those great things. And so I associate Tomb of Dracula with Todd McFarlane and with John because of that stream. Because I don't think I would have bought the omnibus if it hadn't been for those members only streams. And so, as some of you guys may know, John did a breathtaking, yes, definitely. I think there's definitely an influence on there. And thank you so much, Timmy Mill. I appreciate that, man. I think that boy, this is a good look at my mind. I just was looking at the screen and seeing my desk and then this and all this stuff. That's pretty much what it's like. Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, I wanted to do something that was very energetic, very powerful, but then also kind of spoke to certain things. And so there's some cool Easter eggs on here. There's, some great stuff. I do have a tiny where I signed it right here. I do have a little tiny for Jason with a smiley face, Jason Pearson's body bags, which is, I was thinking about Jason while I was working on this and how he does action and movement and motion and all that stuff. But every step of the way, I was trying to figure out like how. Let me see if I can zoom in on this, how far I can go before it falls apart. But every single aspect of this was about trying to make it as intense and action-packed as I think the book is going to be, and as intense as the book is going to be. And I'm painting with this stuff, and that's, for me, that's the joy of this stuff, is trying to paint and trying to bring that sort of energy to it. And so with the text, I wanted the text to kind of be tied into the illustration, and I wanted it to be just this kind of brutal, furious, wild, attack scene that then also kind of told the story a bit too. Because again, John for just one of those things, he launched Springball, and then Shane did the 30-day closeout, and John even was driving somewhere and he was there for the 30-day closeout. And then John did the closeout on Springball, and I think he just really has promoted that book. He's been supportive on stream and off stream with regards to it. So, it was under no pressure to use it, but I was like, I have to do a cover in the style of mine that John likes, which is, he really loves this kind of, throwback sort of style I do, which is very, early Spawn and the Moo Crew, Orzechowski and Olaf and all of those guys. And of course I do too. It's what I illustrated Springball in. And so this was a chance for me to do something that I really only take out for Springball most of the time, for John, because, John has more than earned it, more than deserves it. He just has been tireless. Let's see here. Bootlegger, what's up? Hey, how are you doing, Bootlegger? Good to see you. Everybody saying their hellos. I love it. I love seeing all the hellos in the chat. It's great to see. Absolutely great to see. Nice. Yeah, there are a lot of twos on that cover. Yes, there are. There are a lot of twos on that cover. You've got it. Yeah. Well, part of the reason is it's one of those is a sort of a Easter egg to my address. But there's a lot of other stuff on there. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kant. Is it Kant 651? I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, he is the man. First man over the wall. And, yeah, I mean, it's it's weird because he's from Michigan, but he reminds me of a lot of people I grew up with and who are friends of mine when I was growing up in the South, where it's, I don't know. You kind of say things in the, if something needs saying, it gets said, and if something doesn't need saying, it doesn't get said, and it's just people just do what they're supposed to do and get it done is kind of what it comes down to. And so I probably have, with my own connections to, I did live in Detroit for a short spell. One of the things that was in that is that's my address I used to live at in Detroit. Those are the years I used to live there on that license plate. So I was there in 79, and I think it was up till 83, but I think that's when we moved there. That's 2228 Hampton Road. And then, of course, that's, again, the accurate license plate for the time. But I'll do a zoom in, and I'll see if you guys can see anything else. I've got an Easter egg. Excuse me. I've got an Easter egg hidden somewhere in the frame here. Let's see if you guys can find it. Can you guys find the Easter egg in here? It's not that hard to find, but maybe we'll see how it goes. It's a love-a-thon in here. You guys are hugging it out. Look at all that. Yeah, Malin is the man. He's been, I don't know. I've enjoyed watching him. I remember when I was watching him on early Comicsgate, he was always cracking me up. But I didn't know his work because I got into Comicsgate with the first CYBERFROG issue. So I remember when Ethan was canceled, when he was launching that, when he was a Star Wars channel. That was pretty much what I thought of. Oh, hey, Nosferatu in the corner. Well, yeah, for sure. But there's something else in here. I'll see if you guys can get it. See if you guys can get it. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you have. When you see it, you're going to go, oh. Or you're not going to see it. You never know. It could happen. It could happen. But it's tricky. It'd be tricky to see. I'll give you that. I'll grant you that. Made sure to back Black Riding Hood 1 and 2. Just backed 2 again and fund my comic to get Ethan's cover. Absolutely. Ethan's cover is great too. Yeah, I did a great job on that. There you go. I knew one of these artists would get it. You want to tell all the kids at home where it is? Timmy, good job, man. I wish. Listen, I can't raise the game that much. That's John. That's all John. John owns that character. I can't step to that. Diaphanous Nightgown, I wish. Yeah, it's not that type of cover yet, but I definitely will do one at some point for John. So, you want to tell people where it is? They'll find it. Yeah, Timmy Mello's playing hard to get. That's so great. There it is. Sir Lister's got it. There you go. Listen, I know I talk a lot about this. We craft our stuff. That's why I'm back and forth with the printer, paying a little extra money to see if we can get that 4-color printing press job done, which will be my first. The No Sparrow Second Chance campaign is going to be my first 4-color press job. So I've got to be looking over the colors. We're going to see how it goes. That's for both the art edition. There are 2 different books we're printing: the art edition and the oxidized edition. Second Chance for No Sparrow. There you go. You guys see it. Oh, thank you so much. And that's another, that's another nod for Gene Colan, and the way that he would draw vampires. And of course, he was a huge influence on Todd McFarlane as well, man. And that is what it's all about. Isn't that fun? Remember when comics were so much fun? I love the craft. I love the artistry. I love all of that. But if we're not having fun with this, we're in the wrong business. And by the way, the making the comics, it is so difficult. It's so complicated that while I enjoy it, it's what I do. I like work. I like working. I went to bed last night, I think at 4 a.m, get up, I just work all day long. And it's really, really great. Like, I'm not complaining. There's no but at the end of that. I love doing it, and sometimes I wish I could just turn it off and go to sleep, but it's just not how it works. I'm thinking about the print files. I've got a meeting coming up with somebody to talk about developing some really cool stuff together as well. Like, there's a lot of things happening right now, but I just try to keep myself zeroed in and focused on the stuff that I'm working on, and like whatever that may be. And so trying to get the face right and trying to get... John said something that I thought was really true. He said back in the early days, the 80s and 90s when we were reading comics, but even probably even before then, there were certain things where it was cool when an artist had kind of their thing going. You wanted to see their take on the character. You wanted to see them draw a character. And I really wanted to do something that was how I feel about this character, how enthusiastic I am about this book and this idea that John's doing. But I also wanted to kind of say, all right, cool, I want to give something to where John gets excited about it, and where he sees it and he goes, wow, you really love this character and you really are excited about it. And so just thinking about the plot and the story, and then thinking about John's love of lettering and his love of that type of stuff, I really just tried to throw as much into it as I possibly could to make a really dynamic action cover where it just feels like you're just hitting it at 100 miles per hour, man. See, that's what it's about, isn't it? Like, that's the fun part of it. And that's, when you see that, where the heck is it? When you see that, know that that's one of my other, I had Gene Colan's class at the School of Visual Arts for a couple of years. Oh my goodness. Marcus, I bow to you, sir. My goodness. So here's some of where you guys might be seeing the Eastern influence outside of the fact that obviously I'm influenced by 1,000,001 things. But is the way that Tim Vigil, if I can fit it on screen, there it is. The way that Tim Vigil would do his blood when he was illustrating grips was a big influence on me. You see what I mean? It's like he did this stuff. I loved the way, and you can see, and this is a wild influence. People, I'm sure they know of it, but it's a big influence on my stuff. Tim Vigil was a foundational artist for me. But I used to love the way that he did metal, too. Look at that. Look at the sheen on that black and white. Can I get that to focus? But look at how cool that is. I mean, look at the eyes and the face and the expression. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of Tim Vigil grips in this, too. Yeah, oh, thank you, guys. What is this a positivity intervention? Well, I thank you if it is, man. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. That's the stuff I love. Yes, it is. Isn't that crazy, man? Those panels are great. So yeah, like one of the things John was talking about with regards to the cover, and like I said, I hope you guys will back that highest tier where it's the box tier that comes with my cover. I think it would be, look, guys, John has been incredibly supportive of the stuff I've been doing, but also he's just been like such a big champion at Comicsgate and all of that stuff. He's the first man over the wall, as I like to always say. And as I've kind of gotten to know him and understand his sensibilities about artwork, which is kind of, it's nice when you kind of get to know people like that in that way. I really want to be able to help in some way the stuff that he's doing. And I've done trailers for him. I've done all of that kind of stuff. Like, that stuff is fine and good, but I would love if this cover was something people saw and said, you know, I was thinking about getting the box. I was thinking about going whole hog on this campaign, and this might tip me over the edge. Because you're already getting a ton of great stuff in there. You know, you're already going to be getting a ton of great stuff if you back that now. Like, but this is going to be added to it. And when I showed this to John, he was like, yeah, that's what I'll do with it. So yeah, any support would be great. My cover is blocking which thing? Oh, blocking the view, yes, of the Grips book. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Let me do this. Let me lose... Where the heck is it? Screen share. Let me lose this so you can see Basil Gogos and all of those great horror posts. You can also see the sun going down in Lovecraft Country. It's getting a little bit dark out there. I'm glad it's at 5:22 and not at freaking, 4 o'clock or 3:30. So this is an old, beat-up, well-loved Grips trade paperback that I had, and I remember seeing this book and seeing pages like this with all of the crazy brush and ink work, seeing action scenes. Where's the double page spread, which is nuts? This double page spread, which is crazy. As a kid, I saw this and went, this is insane. This is just craziness. The action of the boot, and he kicks the guy in the face. It's just wild. It's something that isn't done in manga very much in consistent way, but I have really been enjoying the Kagurabachi, as the artist does this kind of thing to create more depth in the panels. Yeah, isn't that crazy in terms of its dynamic quality? Yeah, it's bursting off the page. So there was a comic book that didn't turn out to be as amazing as I hoped it would be because he only did a little bit of work on the interior. That was another influence on my cover that I'm doing for John. And unfortunately, this is really reflective because it's in a poster sleeve. But it was a comic book that Tim Vigil did a couple of promotional things for in a few-page comic book called Nightmaster. And it was like, inspired by American Ninja. Look at the fabric and the crazy anatomy on this dude. But he would always draw these capes and these hoods with this incredible look to them. And I just loved his brush and ink work. Really just did some crazy stuff with brush and ink. And he also did some painted covers too. So, you can see that that's going to be something that I'll dive into whenever I look at this stuff, is how to really bring the energy to it and how to make it something that people are going to see. And they're going to want to back this book, because whenever I do something for somebody, whether it's the, and I can't show you the original because someone's bought it, but the CYBERFROG trading card artwork I did is the same thing. It's 100% the same thing. I've got to make sure that everything is bringing with it that kind of energy and that kind of sensibility, you know. And it's like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, isn't that great? I love the sweep of the stuff. You can see where I was really interested in getting that sweep. I think he even did. It's not the same kind of thing, but he did, or the same thing, but he did a glare on the sword, and I've always loved that. I've always thought that was a really cool, comic book thing that I wanted to do. But yeah, like little bits like this. I'm still, because I paint these things, so I do them in color, and I do them in, but it's like the werewolf is like, ripping the head off of the clan guy because that's where the battle is. And as I was illustrating this, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this, because John has shown me a lot of the behind the scenes and concept artwork before the launch. I was so excited about this book. He knows that because I was one of the people who... John likes monsters and horror, as you know, from Graveyard Shift. I love that stuff. I know Graham Nolan loves that stuff. We're just, we like monsters. We like creatures. We like film. We like comics. All of that stuff is just in our DNA. And so when I was putting this thing together and I was thinking about like what's the story of it and like how it all comes together, the thing, I didn't want to open that. Let me see here if this is working. Where is it? Where is the thing I'm looking for? There we go. When I was looking at this, the art is fantastic. You have CYBERFROG, a more alien creature vibe. Yeah, I loved that too. The creature from the Black Lagoon vibe. Right? When you see it, man. You still have the originals to which thing? I don't know which thing we're talking about. They haven't been seen at full size. I have a scan, but someone bought both the original, the sketch, and the tracing paper transfer. So I have nothing from the CYBERFROG trading card because a collector who is a patron of many of ours and collects original Comicsgate artwork, he purchased it. He has it. It's gone to a very, very good home. Was the 2 in the blood coming off of the sword at the end of the sword itself intentional? The cards. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, I don't have any of the card. I lost my copy of the card. I don't even have the card, come to think of it. But so the 2 is utterly intentional, and so is the number hanging off of that thumbnail right there. So that's the werewolf ripping off this dude's head. It's not the sword. And then this is the sweep of the fingers of the werewolf and the hand. So here's what I was thinking about when I was illustrating this. So in the story, as far as I understand, and I haven't been told different in terms of the world, I believe that the vampire are at war with the clan, and then the werewolves are primarily Black Riding Hood's enemies. And what I kept thinking, as the kids say at Speak, thank you, Ghost, you got me with that one. That cracked me up, man. There you go. And it's Mechanoid's killing me. So as I was working on it, I said, well, when they come face to face with werewolves, they probably won't be prepared for it. So it made sense to me that it would be a werewolf that would be the downfall there. And of course, since Black Riding Hood is the hero, my assumption was he was going to have no problem at all with any of this because he's got to be awesome. So he's swinging his sword, blocking a bullet. He's taking the hand off of the vampire. Actually, he's doing a lot with the hands here. And then at the same time, he's also shooting the werewolf right there. And I thought that'll work. That'll work for the story that I'm trying to tell visually with this, and just hopefully it's supportive of the world while also being a nod to Tomb of Dracula and what we love about Tomb of Dracula, because that really is a book that I'm just glad the people I'm with are doing this kind of stuff. Well, if you look at the sweep right at the end of the blade, the red at the end forms the bottom. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's right. It is kind of in there. So it does. You're right. It does form kind of a 2. You're right. That's one of my favorite. You can even see it in my lines. It's one of my favorite shapes, which is to do a curve and then a pull out of it, which is so fun. How do you navigate the desire for Oh my God! Whoa, easy. My brain, whenever my brain is starting to coast to a stop, I get a serious question. The tasteful thickness. How do you navigate the desire for Anglo-Western world with your How do I navigate the desire for an Anglo-Western world with I have no idea what the question is. Can you try that one more time? How do I navigate the desire for your partnership or Comicsgate? I don't know what that. Yeah, I comics and cahoots. Are you like my internal dialogue? I'm not. I don't know that I'm navigating anything in that particular regard. So I'm not sure. Navigate desire for an Anglo-Western world partnership with Comicsgate. Yeah, I got to know what you mean by that, but I don't. Yeah, I need more because I was just thinking in terms of Anglo-Western. Yeah, I need more. I need more specifics. That's all. With a compass. That's right. Well, someone asked me, what was the question? Oh God, I had a great question in an interview one time, and I finally figured out how to answer it, and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, someone asked me how I handled criticism, and I said with oven mitts. But yeah, I mean, for me, when I'm doing this stuff, everything I'm doing is about ideas of independence, ownership, freedom of speech, freedom of, gosh, I know, here's a big one, all this stuff, presumption of innocence, individual liberty, all of that kind of stuff, which is why it says made in liberty on it. So I never really think about those things in association with anybody else. People either let me do what I'm going to do or they don't. And so that's kind of how I tend to balance things. Like this is the kind of stuff I've been doing for a while, and the folks I'm around seem to appreciate and understand that. So it's kind of probably just a mutual sort of thing. You let people do what they're going to do, and everybody works hard, and that stuff all sort of shakes out. But I'm sure it's there. I'm asking what you think about your relationship with Comicsgate works when we want an anti-immigration landscape since you're Indian. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, I'm not actually. So I guess that might be what you were talking about. So I'm actually was born in Texas, and I'm Indian, Austrian, and Puerto Rican. So 100% American. So I've lived here my whole life. That's what I do. And so it depends on what you mean by the West, because even yeah, like it's a very interesting question. I mean, I think the idea and the understanding of the West and that whole kind of thing is something that, at least in terms of what the founders were talking about, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I'm thinking about the Constitution. Yes, that's very true. Yeah. Well, that's certainly true, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure where you're going with that. So I don't know what to tell you. But TA 58008. Not sure about that either. In terms of like, there's a lot of things here I don't know if I'm necessarily going to agree with, but they're a longer conversation. They're a longer conversation because if you're talking about that aspect of things and the aspect of wanting to separate yourself, okay, well, that would okay. When you're using that particular term, right, in terms of that particular thing, you'd have to remove things like Irish indentured servants from that, because they certainly weren't for that at the time. So if you were an indentured servant, for people who don't know, is that if you were an indentured servant, Irish or whatever you were when you were coming in, you were basically in forced labor, and you had to wear a metal collar in some instances around your neck and be returned if you attempted to break free from the people you were an indentured servant to. So even in those instances, you're talking about class is a major factor there, wealth is a major factor there, disagreements between the various groups that we would probably put under that particular umbrella. So I think that we're speaking about a term that the founders would not have used. They would refer to things like the English as being a race, the Scottish as being a race, the Irish as being a race, the Germans as being a race, the Hessians and things like that. Adding Irish Italians were already super hard to integrate. Such are basically impossible to. Again, I don't know if I agree with that that idea, and I think that the concepts, particularly when you're talking about the concepts of the Constitution and representative democracy in a republic, everything we are is about integrating different things. A lot of that stuff was coming from, I mean, we weren't in terms of being here in the presence, it was a mindset that was going all the way back to the Greeks and the Romans and representative democracy and the idea of a republic. So these things were coming from everywhere. But the biggest case, you guys are sweet. The biggest case that I could give for that when you're talking about that are things like Hong Kong, things like India, which was, I think, occupied for like 500 years and has the British legal system. So it's tough to say. It's tough to say in terms of I'm not sure what you're saying, because it almost seems like when I hear that kind of case and that kind of argument, the thing I always think about is the idea that the eradication of the Western way of life is inevitable, is what it seems like people are saying, and I don't believe that even remotely. I don't. So that would be yes, without a doubt, yes. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I think we're in agreement there. And I don't, yeah, that's provable. Yeah. But it's interesting. As long as I'm around, we're okay, says Mo Biggs. Here's what I would say. Is that just in general about all of that kind of stuff, is that if these ideas and the principles that we have, which have traveled, depending on who you're looking at, have traveled for a lot of times. No. I have no idea what that even means. No, because that's not what you're talking about. What you're talking about there, if I'm not mistaken, is the idea of not practicing the emphasis on assimilation. No. Yeah, that's not... Oh, you what? Oh, everything okay? Okay, I'll look. Sorry, I just got a question. Let me see. Yeah, all right. There you go. All right, so yes. So hopefully that answers your question. Somewhat. But I mean, you can look into it, more if you would, I mean, like I said, I don't know how to really necessarily argue with that per se. What does it say? I have no idea what you're talking about at this point. I truly don't, because... Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So, I appreciate that you're telling me that. But this is the thing. I'm not going to continue to have the conversation. If you wanted to have that, conversation, have that be the center of something, feel free to. But I don't know why that's an issue here. Not to mention, I think you're confusing a lot of different things here, and that's fine. You can do that, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. Gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and ban you from this, sadly, because I don't even understand like where this is at. It just seems like you want to talk to yourself here and not anybody else. So much apologies, but I don't know what you want me to say about that. So take care. There you go. So when I'm looking at a cover like this, and I'm looking at what I want to do with it, and I'm trying to figure out like how to, oh my God, I'm not. That sounds like a nightmare for me, Ghost Goo. So when I'm looking at this kind of thing, and I'm seeing, yeah, it is. I know, I'm like trying to think, and then it's like I'm answering this really complicated question. But anyway, so when I look at this, and I look at the work I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to put together, I wanted to make sure I'm telling a story where I put together, all of the things I love. You guys are so funny. So yeah, as you guys can tell, this is the problem. Yeah, I'm sure. But when I've been a teacher for so long, it's I used to get asked questions if I thought the moon landing was faked. No, that's still too many. I don't know if I can deal with that, and God knows what Mrs. Angetti would experience if she went through that. So, when I was looking at this cover and I was trying to figure out what I needed to do for it to, address the story that I thought John was trying to tell, a lot of that comes into thinking about the world, the type of horror that he wants to do, what the type of vampires were. So what was kind of fun when I was working on this was I got to ask John, I'm like, can you tell me about the vampires and how they work and what their look is? So I wanted to make sure when I was putting it together that you guys are cracking me up, guys. I'm sorry to make your Sunday a little more awkward than it needed to be, but I'm always one to try to have a conversation and answer questions, but it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. When somebody says I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, it's not your house, so you're going to be asked to leave. So because you got to have some kind of manners in this world. I mean, you don't have to, but it's appreciated, I think, in general. But I think, looking at this kind of stuff and looking at how people have an interesting take on things, it was the same thing when I was working on the CYBERFROG piece. I did a sketch, and you guys aren't going to let it go, are you? You guys aren't going to 99 shots on this and take one down pass. You guys are killing me, man. You guys are killing me. How many shots without going up for $1? Seems ignorant what the U.S. history is. Yeah, I mean, I see this stuff a lot of times. I know. Well, no, look, guys, it's yeah, that would be great. The quantity of cranberries going up would be fantastic. So yeah, like it's you guys are never gonna let me get past this, are you? I've been on a lot of streams and I've been in some experiences where this type of thing happens, and I always feel bad because it makes other people feel so uncomfortable. It's just my wife in particular is always not wild about it, but I think she's seen more than enough and she hasn't seen most of it. But when I'm looking at this stuff, what gets me excited about it is I'll show a sketch I'm working on of CYBERFROG to Ethan, and when I show the CYBERFROG sketch to Ethan, the thing is that he knows what CYBERFROG looks like, and he'll go, his arms are too skinny, his hands are too big. Happy birthday, D-Wag. Is it your birthday today? Is it your birthday, D-Wag? Let me know, man. I think it was your birthday, but I'm not positive. I miss muting Niobe. I go get some coffee for like 3 minutes and something went down. What happened? Nothing new to me. Don't worry about it. Hail Mo Biggs, when life gives you cranberries, you make delicious cranberry juice. That's indeed true with cranberry langers. Oh my gosh, is it your birthday today, D-Wag? Let me know. Bow. No, it's Elliot Rodriguez's birthday. There it is. Well, happy birthday to Elliot Rodriguez then. My God, because I saw a happy birthday thing going around, but I've been running around like crazy. Yeah, you missed a lot. It was a pretty exciting stream, or exciting moments as we get on this channel, but not the first one I've had by any stretch on this channel. Yes, happy birthday, Elliot, if you see this. 100%, guys. Absolutely right. Well, guys, all that excitement, all that conversation, we kind of went over here, but I'm going to wrap up in a sec, but I just want to make sure I say that what's so great is whether it's Shane's stuff, and I think Shane is streaming, so make sure you head over there if he's still streaming. Whether it's also Joe Sonatog's birthday. No kidding. Happy birthday to Joe, man. My God. But whether I'm looking at Shane's characters, or I'm looking at John's characters, or even graphic design and logos, or I'm looking at Ethan's characters, or anyone else's I've ever done, is that they have a clear understanding and a crisp understanding of what it is that their character is about. And anytime you can get an insight into your someone's characters and what they were thinking for it, you're gonna get better art out of it. So I hope that with all of this stuff, yes, happy birthday, Elliot and Joe. Indeed, guys. Everybody, make sure you wish him a happy birthday. When I'm doing something like this, I'm hoping I can capture as much of it as I possibly can. And it was just such a pleasure to be working on this. And anytime I do stuff for any of those guys, or we even just talk about work, it makes it so much fun. And it's such a blast being in Comicsgate and making work for you guys. So thank you so much for being here on this stream on Sundays. I am going to get that show sorted the Bare Knuckle Art School. I've just got to do a couple more things of prep and figure out a way for people to get me artwork. Oh, it's your 35th anniversary tomorrow. Marcus Kelligrew, happy 35th anniversary. Man, you've got 10 years on us. We just passed 25. You are way ahead of us. Yes, indeed. Yes. And yes, indeed. Hail Darren Wagner's official and condolences on Felix. Indeed, indeed. God bless him and may he rest in peace. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, there you go. Oh, boy. Yeah, it was a wild couple of minutes there with that stream. Yeah, indeed. He passed away, sadly. Grey Wolf Graphics, yeah. Yeah, it's the way it goes. But listen, here's the thing about it, guys. I hate to make this stream about identity. Okay? I hate to make this stream about identity, but I'm going to have to make this stream about identity for a second here. Okay, guys? Make this bigger for you guys. I can't be derailed because I identify as a conductor. So never forget it. Conductor and jetty. This train is going to keep rolling. You understand? We're going to keep rolling. Springball, Nosfero, Inglorious Rex, CYBERFROG, Black Riding Hood. The big box comes with my cover. And we are always going to be having a good time here. And we are going to work our asses off. Pardon me, sir. Is that the Chattanooga choo-choo? No coincidence. That's where I grew up. Can't stop. Won't stop, says D-Wag. Bow, indeed. And yeah, guys, thank you guys for being here on a Sunday. Much love. I appreciate you all. And remember, we're going to keep this train on the tracks. And when we do have a good time, sometimes you won't be able to see the rails from where we are. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to be having a good time making art and we're not going to let ourselves get derailed, as some people would say. So keep it real. Check out Shane Davis's, yes indeed, music conductor. This is my airbox, that's right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. And I will see all of you guys soon. And love hanging out with you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I'm going to do the same. And I've got channel members. I just updated the credits. I'm going to try to figure out what day. It's probably going to be midweek is what I'm thinking. But I just don't want it to overlap with Hard R because I need to get a lot of sleep before I do that show because it goes pretty late. Run this train through. No, stop. You guys, I knew I wouldn't be able to get far with that metaphor. A dude with a metal detector found... What? No. Wow, Grey Wolf. Holy cow, I had no idea. Take care, everybody. I will see you guys. I'm thinking it's going to be maybe on a Tuesday or a Thursday or something like that. I'm trying to figure out what time of day it would be because I'm not going to do it on the weekend because I've already got a show on the weekend. But it will be... by the way, I love your profile pic. Loved that show. Such a good show, man. Used to watch it on, gosh, what was it? Whatever our local affiliate was, we'd watch it come on like 1 or 2 in the morning where we were because it wasn't, easy to find. So it might have been on a public, what is the channel? I forget what it was, PBS or whatever it was, one of those channels. But thank you guys so much. Take care. And channel members, here are your names in the credits. God bless you all. Take care, Ice Queen Katie. Take care, Mo Biggs. Take care, Cranberry Landers. Take care, Timmy Mello. Take care, Skeleton Core Comics. Take care, Mechanoid. And let me see who else I've got here. Of course, Comics and Cahoots. And welcome to channel memberhood. I am so glad you're a Crypt Walker now. Simply Green is here. Skeleton Core Comics. Thank you, Grey Wolf. Thank you, Kant651. Thank you, TA58008. It's great to see you. Phalog, thank you so much. And thank you, Art Haida. And let's see if I miss it. Marcus Kelligrew, thank you so much. Darren Wagner, happy birthday, by the way, to Elliot and to Joe. And God bless you guys. I will see you guys very, very soon. Later, Go Scoo. I will see you guys super soon. Sir Lister, it is a pleasure to see all of you guys here. And I will see you guys again very soon.